Dear students, my name is Pankaj Kumar Srivastav, and in this video I am going to explain you about light chapter. I have categorized this light chapter into three parts. I have categorized it into three parts. First part is plane mirror, second part is spherical mirror, and third part is spherical lens. First of all, we will discuss about plane mirror. But before discussing about plane mirror, let us understand some basic concepts about light. What is light? So, light is a form of energy. What is light? Light is a form of energy that enables us to see objects around us. It is due to light we are able to see anything which is present in our vicinity, in our surrounding. We can see the objects, the colorful world, etc. It is all due to light. On the basis of light emitting source, we can categorize the objects into two groups. Number first is luminous object. What does luminous objects means? Luminous object refers to those objects which emit their own light. That means emit means give, to give. Objects which emit their own light. Light giving objects are called luminous objects. And as for example, sun. Sun has its own light. All of us know. Star also has its own light. When we burn candle too emits its own light. In case of torch also, torch emits its own light. So all of these are luminous objects. Now, what are non-luminous objects? Non-luminous object refers to those objects which do not emit their light, that do not give out their own light. As for example, moon. All of us know that moon does not have its own light. It emits the light, it reflects the light of sun. In case of table is also a non-luminous object. Diamond. Of course, diamond shines. But why does it shine? It shines due to three factors. Number one is it is highly polished, its surface is smooth, and number three is it has cleavage at different angles that leads to multiple reflection of light. So, a diamond shines. Mirror too do not have light of their own. It simply reflects the light. So these are called as non-luminous objects. So luminous means light emitting or light giving objects. Non-luminous means non-light emitting objects. Clear? Now we will understand what is the nature of light. There are two theories regarding light. One more theory, that means third theory also has been given, which is the combination of first and second theory. We will discuss it a little later. First of all, let us understand wave theory. What is wave theory? Wave theory says light consists of electromagnetic wave which do not require any medium for propagation. Light is an electromagnetic wave. Light is an electromagnetic wave and it does not require any medium for propagation. Propagation means to move or to go from one place to another. Clear? Light consists of electromagnetic wave that does not require any medium for propagation. Propagation means to travel. Clear? Second theory is particle theory. What is particle theory? So, according to this theory, light is composed of particles which travels in a straight line at a very high speed. Particle theory says that light is composed of very tiny particles which travels in a straight line at a very high speed. I think all of you have understood what is light, luminous object, non-luminous object, nature of light, wave theory and particle theory. Now we will understand the third theory of light. The third theory is also known as modern theory of light or quantum theory of light. Quantum theory of light is the combination of first theory and second theory. According to this theory, light has dual nature. Dual means two. Dual means two. It has the characteristics of wave as well as particles. Clear? That means this theory states that light has dual nature. It has the nature of waves as well as the nature of particles. Clear? And the small tiny particles present in the light is called as photons. What is called? Photons. Photons are the tiny particles present in the light. Now we will understand some of the properties of visible light. Visible light means the light which enable us to see. Okay, the first is wavelength. Wavelength is measured in meter. Its SI unit is also meter. Okay, and its wavelength is small and it is between 4 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter to 8 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter. Whereas its speed is very high in vacuum and its speed is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second. When we derive this in terms of kilometer, then we get 3 lakhs kilometer in 1 second. That means light travels in vacuum 3 lakhs kilometer in 1 second. Clear? And third point is elementary particles. That means light has small particles according to particle theory and quantum theory. Those small particles are termed as photons. Clear? Small particles are called as photons. Now see here. Reflection of light. What is reflection of light? Reflection means bouncing back or returning back. Reflection means bouncing back or returning back. You can see here in this diagram, it is a torch and when it is switched on, a ray of light comes out from the torch and strikes the plane surface here, and after striking the plane surface, the ray bounces back. This is known as reflection of light. Light falling here and then returning back from here. Clear? So, in case of definition, we say that the bouncing back of light as it falls on a plane surface. The bouncing back, that means returning back of light as it falls on a plane surface. You can see here in this diagram. Clear? Now, polished surface. Polished surface can reflect better. Polished and plane surface can reflect better as compared to rough surface. Now we are going to understand how does the plane mirror work. an ordinary plane mirror works. This is an ordinary plane mirror. This is an ordinary plane mirror, and when you will remove its frame, then we get this type of glass sheet. Clear? This is the front side of the plane mirror and this is the back side of the plane mirror. It has double coating. It has double coating. The first coating is of silver or aluminium. First coating is of silver or aluminium, and second coating is this coating. It is either white or red in color. So second coating is given our first coating. That is, second coating is coated on aluminium or silver coating in order to protect it from being scratched. When light falls on the surface of the plain ordinary mirror, then the light is completely reflected back by the silver coating or the aluminium coating. So a good image is formed. Same thing is stated here. It says that ordinary mirrors are made by depositing a thin layer of silver or aluminium. A thin layer, very thin layer of silver and aluminium is coated on the back side of the plain glass sheet. The silver layer is then coated by red paint to protect it from being scratched. In order to protect it from being scratched, because it has a very thin layer of coating, so another layer of coating is applied. You can see here, this is white and you can see even red in color. And when ray falls on the mirror surface, then completely the ray is reflected back. So a good image is formed. Clear? I think now all of you have understood the working of plane mirror and how does it work. Now we will understand some of the technical terms related to light and plane mirror. Clear? The first term is incident ray. What is incident ray? So you can see here this diagram. This is a torch. When it is switched on, ray of light starts coming out of it and it strikes the surface of the plane mirror. This is a plane mirror and it strikes the surface of the plane mirror, and after striking it returns back. Okay? So this is incident ray. This is incident ray. The ray which falling ray is called as incident ray, and this is the bouncing back ray or returning back ray. Returning back ray is called as reflected ray. What it is called? Reflected ray. Okay. Third is normal. What is normal? A perpendicular line is drawn on a plane mirror from the point of incidence. Okay? Perpendicular line is drawn from point of incidence. This is known as point of incidence. Why is it known as point of incidence? It is known so because the incident ray strikes here, and from here the reflection takes place. So this point is called as the point of incidence. Clear? And from there, when we draw a straight line, the line becomes perpendicular to the surface of the mirror. Perpendicular means an angle of 90 degree. That means a straight line, this is a straight line, and when we draw perpendicular, it divides the straight line into two equal angles, 90 degree and again 90 degree. Okay? That is why we call this as a perpendicular line. And remember, this normal divides the angle between incident ray and reflected ray into two equal halves. That means the angle found between incident ray and normal is equal to the angle found between reflected ray and normal. We can say that angle of incidence, this is the angle of incidence, is equal to the angle of reflection, because normal divides it into two equal halves. Clear? Now I think all of you have understood, and in case of physics, we represent this diagram like this. In physics, it is represented in this way. This is the plane mirror. This is the plane mirror. This is the incident ray. You can see here the arrow, the sign of arrow that indicates the falling ray. Clear? And this is the reflected ray. You can see the sign of arrow that clearly indicates the path of ray after bouncing back. Clear? And a normal is drawn here perpendicular to the plane mirror, and so the angle of incidence, angle I, angle of incidence becomes equal to angle of reflection. Clear? And this is the point of incidence. Why is it called as point of incidence? It is called so because the ray of light comes and strikes here. That is why we call it as point of incidence. I think all of you have understood. Now we will understand what is regular reflection and what is diffuse reflection. First of all, let us see what is regular reflection. In this, the reflection is uniform. In case of regular reflection, the reflection is uniform and clear image is obtained. You can see here in this diagram, this is the plane surface or plane mirror, and light is incident. Rays of light are incident on this plane surface and it get reflected here, you can see. But the image formation takes place here and a clear image is obtained. Why clear image is obtained? Because the surface is plane and polished. Clear? When the surface is plane and polished, then we get a clear image because the reflection takes place uniformly. In case of diffuse reflection, the reflection on rough surface takes place, and so the reflection on rough surface is not uniform. Here you can see these are the incident rays, and when it falls on the rough surface, then the reflected rays get scattered. Scattered means to spread here and there, and due to this no clear image is obtained. You can see here the same thing is given. In this, the reflection is not uniform. Okay, and the rays of light get scattered and rays of light get spread. As a result, no clear image is formed. Now we will understand laws of reflection. There are two laws of reflection. The first law says that the incident ray, the reflected ray, and normal all lie in the same plane. You can see here this diagram. This is the incident ray, this is the reflected ray, and this is the normal. When ray is incident on this, it gets reflected along this path. And normal, that means incident ray, normal, and reflected ray all lie in the same plane. This is the plane, okay, and on the point of incidence they all lie. That is why we say that incident ray, reflected ray, and normal. All lie in the same plane. Clear? And second law states that the angle of reflection is equal to the angle of incidence. This is incident ray and this is normal, and the angle between them is called as angle of incidence. This is angle of incidence. Okay, and this is the angle of reflection. Angle of reflection is between reflected ray and the normal. Okay, so the second law says that this angle and this angle, both these angles are equal. That means angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Okay. Now you can represent the same thing by drawing the diagrams here, and in physics we do we make the diagram this way. This is the plane mirror or the plane surface, and this is the incident ray, and again this is the reflected ray. This is the reflected ray, and a normal is drawn. So here this is the angle of incidence and this is the angle of reflection, and so angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Clear? Now a very important point is that when a perpendicular ray, perpendicular means a ray of 90 degree falls on the plane mirror. That means when the ray makes an angle of 90 degree on a plane mirror, then after reflection it takes the same path. Here is the incident ray. You can see the path of incident ray, and again this is the reflected ray. Both coincide with each other. That means the path of incident ray and the path of reflected ray becomes the same in case of ray when it is incident perpendicular to the plane mirror. I think all of you have understood.